Hey guys, it's Kate Journey, and I am back today with a sore throat and with my new December writing notebook setup. So this setup is actually, the beginning of it is almost identical to November and October. I'm starting with a monthly layout. The writing system that I'm trying to build for myself requires a certain amount of words written per day or per week, depending on the situation. And it's flexible based on like what week it is. I know in December, my kids are going to be on winter break and it's going to be harder for me to hit that word count. So I'm going to have to work a little bit harder than I had planned on working. However, for the most part, I'm really looking forward to this kind of having this minimum amount of words before I can work on anything else. And I figured out that I can get it done within the first few hours of the day, and then my brain is available for other things, but I do need to take a break. The problem is being able to take a break and then come back and get right back to work. That is becoming like my next big hurdle, but I really want to get this kind of down. I am a little neurospicy, so I do have a hard time maintaining routines once I start them. So I know that in like a couple of months, it's going to be a real struggle to remember that this was my routine. So I'm going to have to, again, reconnect with it. So anyway, that's like wildly off topic. Anyway, so here's my monthly calendar for December. I've got enough space in there to write the goal amount of words that I wrote and the actual amount of words that I wrote, and then my goal on the bottom. And on this other side, I, again, did something different. I did Friday, and then I combined Saturday and Sunday because I don't really want to be writing on the weekends at all. I want the weekends to be free to spend with my family. However, I do have a space there in case I need to. And then the last one that would have normally been reserved for Sunday is actually like the goal for the week and the total. And you'll see this reflected in my weekly setups too. I actually, this month, added weekly setups. So when I started this in October, I actually didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew that I needed to keep track of my words, and so I kind of set up just word tracking. And then in November, I set up the same thing, but I kind of had an inkling that I wanted something more. I just didn't know what yet, and I wanted to make sure that I was keeping my setup as easy as possible so I don't get overwhelmed and I don't scrap it. Luckily, as time went through November and I was sick, I had plenty of time to mull it over and think about the solution to the problem. And the solution is weekly setups. So here I'm writing December, and in that space underneath the calendar over here, I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. So for now, I've decided to just add some decoration, and if I need to write anything in there, I can. In previous months, that was like writing tracking area. I just added in the graph, or not the graph, the table. What is that called? I don't know. The area where I was tracking the words. However, this month, because I'm doing a weekly setup, I am keeping the writing tracking out of this page and into the weekly setup. So I'm using these stamps, and 100% do not recommend Crayola markers on stamps. It's all I've got at the moment. I actually, because I stopped using my Tombos, I got rid of them. Well, I shouldn't say I got rid of them. I gave them to my kids, which means that half of them are lost and the other half have been thrown away, which is fine. So I don't have any brush markers, so I'm using Crayolas, and I do have some brush markers, but I don't have brush markers in purple and blue. I have brush markers in skin tone colors. So anyway, wildly off topic there, kind of, excuse me. So I'm just kind of coloring in and decorating. I really am enjoying spending some time making this a little bit more decorative than I normally would. Most of my my planning has been very to the point, very functional, a little bit colorful, but mostly functional. And I started doing some kind of colorful stickery planning in my planner, my main planner. And it just tumbled me into a world that I really didn't want to be into. And so now I've got all of these stickers, and I'm like hoarding them like a dragon because I'm like, no, I'm going to run out. Well, what's the point of having them if you're not going to use them? So anyway, it's a whole thing that I'm trying to work through right now. And I'm just, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay, so here's my weekly setup. So the number one thing that I really wanted in this setup was to make it as useful for me as possible. So on the top, I've got a separate like weekly check-in thing where I've got the date, the goal for that day specifically, and then the actual words for that day. I found that I had not given myself space in my main tracker area to write down how much I had gotten per day. And I think that I really want to be keeping track of that because my writing quota is a daily writing quota. So it needs to be something that I'm keeping track of on a daily basis or a weekly basis. And then below that is the same tracker that I've been using since last month, only instead of the rough draft challenge total, I've got my Q4 total and my Q4 goal. And frankly, I am just so excited to be moving forward into December and away from November. I think November has been just such a shit show from being sick to being distracted. I feel like November just kind of really got away from me. And because I got so behind from being sick, I'm having a hard time staying on task now. I very enthusiastically got back and started writing, and then just within a couple of days crapped out again. So I feel like my momentum kind of got kicked out from under me a little bit, and I'm having to reconnect with like the drive that I had. So having a new setup, having a new trajectory, and just being able to say, okay, I'm no longer working on the rough draft challenge, which was fun. I love Sarah. That was, we had a good time, but I'm really looking forward to just concentrating on getting to that 100K in Q4. I'm almost halfway there right now as of saying this. And actually, as of the day I'm posting this, I'm doing the voiceover right before I post this because that's life this month. Anyway, I'm very much looking forward to just moving forward and jumping into things. So this one that I'm working on here says date, sprint, words added, book total, Q4 total, and Q4 goal. And then this side is what's really like the meat and potatoes of this for me, which I didn't realize I even needed. So what I needed was a brain dump. I needed a place where when I'm in the middle of writing and I'm tracking my writing, the only things that I want on my desk are the note cards that I'm writing from or the notebook that I'm writing from and this notebook. And instead of having just those, I've had a million little 3x5 cards with notes written about things that I need to remember to take care of as soon as I'm done writing. And then I've got a million things to work through and write down and organize in other notebooks while I'm, as soon as I'm done writing. Otherwise, I'll forget and or lose my note cards, which is just insane. So instead of dealing with all the note cards everywhere, I just have one place where while I'm writing during the week, I can write down, hey, this character has blue eyes in this scene. What color are they in this scene? Or, what powers does this person have? This scene didn't get written because I don't know X, this kind of thing. So I'm able to just kind of write down what I need to be working on when I'm not intensively writing so that I can keep track of it and I can work on it as soon as the writing's done without having 15 note cards scattered all over my desk at all times, not knowing which one pertains to the writing and which one pertains to, oh, hey, you got this doctor's appointment to make for your kids. And I write all of my notes of like random to-dos on note cards. And I'm tired of having them for my writing on top of the random note cards that I have for everything else that I'm trying to maintain. So that's actually like what I'm working on for my 2025 system is I just want to streamline everything. And I'll be showing you guys my planning system for 2025 coming up as soon as I get it kind of finalized. So here I'm just going through and coloring things and adding pops of color. And I really love this setup. And I don't like those Crayola markers with the stamps. They generally just totally suck. And I did start adding these tab dividers on here. I absolutely love these. But anyway, we are actually coming to the end of this setup here. And I just want to thank you guys so much. All of my new subscribers, everybody that's showing up right now. I cannot tell you how much it means to me and how much I appreciate that that you guys are sticking around and wanting to see what I'm making. So I really hope that you enjoy this setup and I hope that you find it useful. And just please like and subscribe. And I will be back in a few days for my writing vlog for this week, which still isn't done.